Welcome to Mobile World Life's coverage of M360 privacy and security here at The Hague, where the common theme seems to be that the more users are connected, the more vulnerable they become because of all the data they put out there. According to William Thompson of the Dutch Data Protection Authority, organizations must report data breaches to protect consumers, and that security must be a top priority, which at the moment it is not.
Data breach notification, ladies and gentlemen, is first of all about a better security of personal information and the prevention of data breaches. And that if a data breach occurs, organizations are open about this, to make sure that the consequences for those involved will be reduced as much as possible.
We will be facing many new challenges once everything that benefits from being connected will be connected. I'm talking about ensuring flow of services and data across borders. I'm talking about securing networks, predominantly old legacy networks now when we're moving into a 5G environment. I'm talking about wearables. I'm talking about drones. I'm talking about connected cars, connected homes, maybe even connected dogs in the future.
Our second day's keynote was titled The Great Privacy Debate, and one of the main points of discussion was whether the Internet of Things and the mobile industry can be governed by local laws or whether a more global infrastructure is needed.
So we're not going to have a global legal framework that our global IoT infrastructure can run in, and that is going to be a huge problem.
Why would this be a good idea to curtail vulnerability research, vulnerability disclosure? And how does this actually improve security for us all? And I think these questions need to be asked a lot more when we determine whether legislation should be local or should be global.
Taking a break from the day's keynotes, Rich Hanford sat down with two hackers to find out what their views are about security and whether they believe 100% security is truly possible. They also told us whether they like being called hackers or prefer the term security consultants.
So hacker isn't so much a role, it is, as you say, a mindset. Right? It is the wish to understand things on a very deep level, so you understand how they influence your life, but also how you can influence them, make them less or even more secure, right? So to your earlier question, are you a hacker or a consultant? I don't think these are alternatives. I think you're a very good consultant if you treat it as a hacker challenge.
Day two's keynote saw the panel discuss what top-level executives can do to prevent breaches and leaks and how to deal with them when they do happen.
I think about it in terms of shifts and phases. So the first principle is you cannot have, normally you've got very clear lines of responsibility and you've got people in specific jobs with specific responsibilities. But in these situations, often the scale and scope of the work that needs to be done is too significant for people just to carry on doing that in a normal structure.
Actually, the challenge arises the moment you have too many stakeholders sitting on the same table. And especially the conflict between control functions on the one hand, maybe even other support functions like HR, like communications. And then you have the business, which actually has its own view about when to involve actually the client, how should it be informed, and how should you react upon certain client feedback. And if this takes too much time, your institute actually loses credibility.
And that wraps up our coverage of Mobile 360 Privacy and Security. This is Saleh Riaz reporting for Mobile World Live.